Arrest former leaders of ousted President Omar al-Bashir's regime. Details shortly. Federal government has approved of the national policy on aging for older persons in Nigeria. Aneke Anibeze, Special Assistant on Media to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, said this in a statement in Abuja. She stated that the objective of the policy is to have a society where senior citizens are guaranteed security, independence, participation, comprehensive care, self-fulfillment, and dignity. Anibeze explained that Farouk stated that the objective of seeking the approval of the Council was to uphold the rights and dignity of seniors. This, she said, will cause a fundamental positive change in perception and attitude about aging an inclusive society. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the establishment of a public-private partnership-styled infrastructure company named Infraco with an initial seed capital of 1 trillion naira. It is envisaged that over time the entity will grow to 15 trillion naira in assets and capital. Infraco will be one of the premier infrastructure finance entities in Africa and will be wholly dedicated to Nigeria's infrastructure development. The president had asked Vice President Yemi Osibanjo San to chair steering committee tasked with setting up the company. The board of Infraco will be chaired by the Central Bank governor and include the managing director of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, president of the Africa Finance Corporation, as well as representatives of the Nigerian Governors Forum and the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed says Fulani herdsmen who have been indicted in criminal activities across the country have no option but to carry arms because of the insecurity they are confronted with in the course of herding their cattle through forests in Nigeria. He spoke at the closing ceremony of the 2021 Press Week of the Correspondents' Chapel of Nigeria Union of Journalists, Bauchi State Council. According to the governor, Fulani herders carry AK-47 for self-defense because they are being attacked by cattle rustlers. Aside defending the rights of Fulani herdsmen to carry weapons, Mohammed also condemned the attitude of Samuel Otom, his Benue State counterpart, and some governors in the southern states over their handling of the issues of criminality and farmers/herders conflict. The governor added that the forests in Nigeria belong to everybody and not a particular tribe, in an obvious reference to the order given by Governor Rotimi Akeredolu to herders to vacate Ondo forest reserves some weeks ago. Moving away from security matters, Smile Foundation is set to hold a 2-day joint Valentine Bash. Lead coordinator, engineer Mrs. Chinwe Eze-Ajoko, who disclosed this to Darling FM, said it is a faith-based non-governmental organization with the vision of organizing regular activities for mentorship. According to Mrs. Chinwe Ajoko, the mission of the foundation is to build character development and discipleship of members and their overall empowerment.
In effect, yes, we started with the vision for the widows to reach out to them and their children, like the Bible will always talk about widows. But then, the challenges that the young people face these days is enormous, So we began to look at reaching out to the young ladies. So it's not just the widows, the young ladies are there now, and then the young men. It probably will grow into older men and older women, who knows? But this is where we are now. I'm very glad that we were able to create an environment where the young people can really celebrate love, and I have an opportunity to spend time with them to explain to them what true love is, be able to mentor them, and then preach to them the gospel of Christ.
She also advised youth to shun all forms of immorality and celebrate this Valentine with Christ-like love.
Everybody is talking about Valentine all over the world. It's all Valentine, and quite a number of people haven't really bothered to understand what Valentine is all about. I'm very concerned. The foundation is very concerned that during this Valentine celebration, people tend to celebrate what they do not understand, and because of that, they kind of abuse the whole concept. You find that the Valentine Day but it's the time that people just let loose the boundaries. People get into all kinds of sexual immorality because that's their understanding of what love is all about. Young people, old people alike, with 500 naira pepper soup, a girl will come back with HIV and gonorrhea. I'm very concerned as a mother and grandmother, and I began to think about this, and it did make me believe that yes, I can make a difference.
Engineer Mrs. Chinwad Joko also noted that membership is open to every widow, young lady and men who desire to benefit from the programs of the organization. Speaker of Imo House of Assembly Paul Emeziem has called for continued support from residents of the state for the All Progressives Congress (APC). Emeziem made the call while addressing journalists at the party secretariat along Owerri-Okigwe Expressway as part of activities to mark the membership registration and revalidation exercise of the party. He thanked Governor Hope Uzodimma for his people-oriented leadership while urging the electorate to identify with the party so as to gain the dividends of democracy.
Senator Hope Uzodimma is doing for the people of Imo State. I am one of the people who believe that in government, it shouldn't be about skyscrapers, it shouldn't be about what you think, it should be about what the people need. And when it comes to providing that which the public need, how consolidated are you providing it? When we talk generally in the public today, we say there are China roads and there are Japanese and German roads. When you go along Imo State today, you may not find 100 roads already done. But if 4, 5, 10 roads are done, you see the consolidation. The APC government in Imo State here gives value.
The exercise, according to him, will be concluded in 2 weeks.
In the next 2 weeks is an opportunity for all of us to be in the same trend that carry the commodity we are all looking for, we are all praying for. The earlier you become a member, that is when you become eligible to ask for your own share. The exercise has commenced without hitches. Anywhere there have been reports, resolutions have been made and reconciled.
Also speaking, State Chairman Prince Nlemibo expressed satisfaction with the heights of progress and political breakthroughs so far recorded in APC under his watch, even as he promised to ensure that many more Imolites are registered into APC. Leaders and stakeholders of Umahu Autonomous Community has expressed their displeasure and concern over what they described as unwarranted interference of the Interim Management Committee Chairman of Ohaji-Egbema local government area, Marcel Amadioha, on their election scheduled to hold on the 13th February 2021. According to them, Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, had in a meeting with the traditional rulers in Imo State, mandated the Ezes to conduct election of the autonomous communities town union executives. But the stakeholders and members of Umahu Autonomous Community in a press statement wonder what's the interest of the IMC chairman of Ohaji-Egbema local government and that of Goodluck Opia is by interfering in the election of the community and will not allow Umahu Autonomous Community to choose her own town leaders. They directed that members of the community are accordingly enjoined to go out and cast their votes on 13th of February tomorrow without fear or favor in the interest of peace and development of the community as it is in compliance with the Autonomous Communities Extant Law in Imo State by choosing their leaders through election. This is 107.3 Darling FM Owerri. If you are just joining us, you are listening to the World News. In the news, federal government approves policy on aiding for older persons in Nigeria. Bauchi State Governor says Fulani herders carry AK-47 for self-defense. Still to come, Sudanese security authorities arrest former leaders of ousted President Omar al-Bashir's regime. Still ahead is Business Report. Stay tuned.
Missed any of the developing stories during the week? Do you want to get up to speed with the news? Tune in to the People's Radio 107.3 Darling FM at noon every Saturday for the Week in Review. The Week in Review, reminding you of the week's stories today.
Thank you for staying with us here on 107.3 Darling FM. Now to the foreign scene. Sudanese security forces has carried out a campaign of arrests against former leaders of ousted President Omar al-Bashir's regime. The Sudanese authorities arrested former Vice President Hassabo Mohamed Abdarrahman, who also served as the political secretary of the dissolved National Congress Party (NCP). The arrest of Abdul Rahman comes as part of a campaign launched by the authorities against those responsible for inciting protesters to take the streets in a number of states. Sudan's Empowerment, Elimination, Anti-Corruption and Funds Recovery Committee issued a decision to arrest all employees of the dissolved NCP active in all states of the country. The committee accused the dissolved party members of inciting acts of rioting, burning, looting and terrorizing unarmed citizens. In business, federal government says national identity number is mandatory for transactions such as the opening of bank accounts, payment of taxes, and voter registration. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy Issa Pantami said this in Abuja while hosting the newly elected National Executive Council of the Association Telecommunications Companies of Nigeria. This came as operators called on the federal government to support in the development of a strategic plan to bridge the over 15 trillion naira infrastructure funding gap for the telecoms/information communication and technology industry. In his address at the meeting, Pantami told his guests that the government is determined to ensure that all citizens in Nigeria have their various national identity numbers. Pantami urged operators in the sector to work with the government in ensuring that all citizens in Nigeria get their national identity number. And that's the world news as produced by Ezine Glory Alozie. You can reach our news desk for coverage and eyewitness report on 0818-732-5104 or send an email to darlingfmnews@gmail.com. You can also listen to Darling FM from anywhere in the world. Go to www.darlingfm.ng and click to listen. Stay safe and use a face mask if you must go out. I am Chidera, Rosecamille, Aneke. News update is at 5 p.m.